Welcome everybody to my YouTube channel. My name is Roberta Robbins, and today I am going to be sharing a reading for the Divine Masculine and Feminine for the Gemini season, which started on May 20th, and we're just a few days into that season right now, that zodiac season. And I actually did this reading last night with my tarot weavers group, and we were doing a workshop. I was teaching them about all the different ways that you can do a divine masculine, divine feminine spreads, and all the different reasons and options that they could be used. So this is one that I was doing, pulling myself the cards for the Gemini season, looking at by each week. So over 4 weeks, kind of what was the divine masculine going to be working with and what was the divine feminine going to be working with, and looking at from like a light and a dark, in the sense of the positive note to like a message of like more take note here, maybe a little caution. I don't want to say quite like a darker note, but more like a cautionary, like almost as if the second card I pulled for them was as if it would be a reverse reading card. Most of the cards that, I noticed in this reading that I did last night was just so positive and great. And I was teaching my group with this, that even though the cards come out looking really positive, and they're saying you want us to take the second one as more like as a cautionary. There's always that side to every tarot card, the light and the dark, and like the positive, the blessings, but also like things that we just need to maybe be aware of more. And so this reading was about that. It was teaching about how we can do this dynamic, see this dynamic through 4 weeks of a season. And we used the Gemini season, and what kind of conversation and what kind of journey would they be going on. As in all my other readings that maybe you have come across on my channel, and when I have done a divine masculine and feminine reading, I always say, take the divine masculine and feminine. You can take it in 2 weeks. Take it as our internal divine masculine and feminine that is within all of us, that we have that energetic, we have those sides. Divine masculine is like that action, the orient, the fire, the movement, that type of energy in our lives, in ourselves. And then the feminine sign being grounded, more earthy, more fluid, more water, more intuition, nurturing, that side of us. So I say, when doing these readings, and whether you're coming to one of my readings or other fellow YouTube tarot readers out there, which there's many, I would say always look at it for yourself that way internally, but also, especially if you're coming to a reading like this because of a relationship, because you're working with your counterpart, you're looking at what's going on for the opposite, you can look at that back and forth from yourself to them. And we can look at these readings also collectively, because in the collective field of us globally, there is a pulse and energy of divine masculine and feminine that's happening. So many different ways. Trust yourself and what feels right. So here I am. I thought I'm going to show you the cards, go through the reading for you, because I thought it's great reading, and might as well share it with you. So you can see that I've already pulled my cards. I have these ones face down, so I can reveal them for you. I pulled the top 3 cards, though the first card wanted to come out with 2 messages, but this is our governing theme. So as I'm saying this video for you guys today, this is going to be a video that's a little bit of you hearing me, how I teach, and how I'm interpreting in these cards and why I'm laying out what I am. And it's also a reading for you for today. So these top 3 cards here, these were the cards that were pulled for overall general like theme and energy that's working through the month of Gemini, or through the season of Gemini, which, like I said, was May 20th, and it'll go to June 21st when we shift into Cancer season. Also, we shift into summer solstice, that portal. So what's the governing? What's the support? What's the energy that will govern this whole reading in itself? And so the first cards that I pulled, the first one actually was access assess the situation. And it was the first quarter moon in Virgo here. But this card here wanted to sneak out with it behind it. And I didn't even notice when I pulled these that this was sitting there. And it's the full moon in Pisces, and it's forgive. So we have look at the situation, take a moment. So something's coming up over this month that is saying just pause a little bit, reflect into what the situation is that's drawing your attention, and also that there may need be this forgiveness. Now, this being a full moon in Pisces, full moon illumination, and in Pisces, it's the last zodiac sign of the wheel. It is deep, it's watery, it is governed by Neptune, it's into the dream state, the realms, the cosmos. So there's something that may be really deep and stirring that wants your attention and wants some forgiveness, but definitely a lot of energy of having a pause for a moment to go over, reflect what is going on. And then we got the Druid, hold the space, it says. And so with this beautiful card here, this is Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors deck. Druid, the wisdom, the sage, right? The medicine man, the holding a sacred space. So what's against there is this feeling and calling that there's something that wants to step in within you, just to pause, to hold a space within, I feel, more yourself, and possibly a situation, things that are coming around you or happening around you. But there's a calm, clear, grounding kind of energy. And then the last card here I pulled is also from Kyle Gray. This is his Gateway of Light Activations deck. And I've been really loving using this deck for our year of 2022. And that's because this is like the feeling of what kind of portal, what kind of activation is going through this month, this season for the divine masculine feminine. And we have the Chamber of the Violet Flame. And it says karmic release and a radical transformation. So there is huge potential of going through that violet flame, right? We call upon the violet flame. We use that as a very transformative, a very cleansing, healing, powerful energy that we call in to work with the violet flame if you work with one. And I noticed with this card, and I didn't notice this last night, but I'm noticing it's almost like this rising up, right? It almost has like a bit of a dragony energy that's coming from this fire, from this flame. And it says there's going to be there's possible karmic release and radical transformation. So we are in a year, numerology, we're in a year here of 6, and the 6 energy for all of us in this particular year is that karmic release, among other things, but there's a theme about a release, karmic bonds, ties, things that have been going on. And that through that, we can go through almost like a rebirthing, a transformation. So these are the cards here. This is our theme for the Gemini season for the collective, divine, masculine, and feminine. Then I went into the readings for my students. And I love, they had their cards and they were pulling their own cards on that, which was great. So we set the intention here. This is going to be by week. So we go over like a 4-week series each week in the Gemini season. So, like I said, it started May 20th. We'll go from the May 20th to the 29th. So just a little bit over the first week there. It's a little longer than 7 days, but I look at it in the structure for 4-week cycle. So we're in it right now as I'm doing this recording. And the question was, what's coming here for the divine masculine and feminine? So we had the first I was pulling from the masculine and then the feminine here. And so for the masculine, we have the top note, the inspiration, the celebration, the movement here is the magician. And when we think of the magician, that energy is coming in saying, you are starting a journey at the beginning of this tarot journey in itself. You're at a beginning, but you're about to choose. You have all the medicine and choices and things to start this journey. But what will you choose and take with you? In the classic tarot, we have the magician standing there, and on the table before him are all 4 of the suits of the pentacle, the wand, the sword, and also the cup, governing all four of those elements in that too. So you get to choose what's happening here as you're about to start some kind of new journey. The note here, the second card is going like, what's the cautionary? What may need to be made sure you look at? And we have the Seven of Swords. And I intuitively read the cards themselves that are coming down, whatever I've chosen for the cards and the imagery and what's happening here. Plus, I always personally take in, weave in what the classic tarot is. And with the Seven of Swords, the swords is about that mind. And this lovely in Chris Ann's Light Seers deck here that I'm using for the Divine Masculine, the swords all have these crows or these ravens. And this particular one, like he's about to go on a journey. He's ready. He's got a knife. He's ready to take action. There's movement. But we have this crow, like there's a warning, a squawking, a something that wants his attention. There's even this full moonlight radiating down upon him to give him clarity as he's about to go out on his quest. So the first week for the Divine Masculine, we're getting, you're about to go on a quest. You're about to start something new. What are you going to choose? What are you going to take with you of your wisdom, your magic, your lessons in life, those kind of things? And what do you need to make sure you're paying attention to, what you're hearing within your mind, within your soul, maybe something around you? There may be guidance and support for you on that journey during that first week. We go over to the Divine Feminine here, and she gets the Strength card. She starts like so solid with strength and that balance. We think of the Strength card in tarot with the, the maiden and the lion. We have a beautiful maiden and lion on this card. I know you can't, the detail is so fine and faint on these particular cards I'm using for the Divine Feminine. This is I think it's called the Shadowscapes Tarot. I will look that up for you, but I'm pretty sure it's Shadowscapes. Sometimes I want to call it Dreamscapes, but I believe it's the Shadowscapes. Beautiful imagery. She's strong. She's standing with this lion. The lion itself is representing within the Leo of the zodiac season with the sun that's governing here. And there's that balance, right, of gentleness, wisdom, strength, bravery, and courage. With it, she gets the Six of Cups, both seeming very positive cards. So the Six of Cups with that warning. So the Six of Cups, when I see a Six of Cups, I think this is a great relationship card. It's got the six with that karmic release. There is the fulfillment. Sometimes there's a reminiscing from the past, or sometimes this card also says that someone may be coming in from the past to restart, especially in love or union and that. And if you're not taking this as a love reading or a relationship reading, remember, relationship could be in various things, right? In various ways. But there's something here that's saying, just take stock this first week. There may be a lot of mind reminiscing and going through things this first week in Gemini season. And if someone's coming in, just to slow down, take stock. Because remember, there was these governing cards, right? The saying, assess the situation, hold space, but there is a transformation. And there may be some karmic release, especially emotionally within the heart, relationships for the Divine Feminine. But she is coming in strong with that Strength card. And that is an excellent sign and position for her to be in. So our second week of Gemini season, the Divine Masculine gets the Knight of Swords. Once again, he's ready. I mean, he's just at the beginning of the journey here, but we have the Knight of Swords. The Knights, they're taking action. They want to go out into the world. They want to explore. And with the swords, clean, clear mind. He's made up his mind. He is going. He's racing forward. A lot of movement, a lot of action. But it comes in here with the 10 of Wands. Both wands and swords can be a bit more of the challenging, heavier notes in the tarot when it comes to the suits. But when I truly, looking at the 10 of Wands here, especially with this deck, it's coming downhill. You're coming from a journey, but you're full with so many things. Have you learned what you need to let go of, what do you need to really carry with you. So there's this message for the divine masculine in the second week is you're taking action. You've got a strong mental pursuit of something that's coming up for yourself. You've made a decision and you're rushing ahead. But also there is going to be a journey. What do you need on the journey? Sometimes you get a little fatigued and tired. So there is a journey ahead, but there may be some challenges. And you have to maybe delegate also to support and help and what needs to happen during that week, that second week. We get the, for the divine feminine, the second week, we get the 9 of Wands. So she gets the 9 of Wands. He had the 10 of Wands. This is in the power position for her. And she gets the Tower. So there's something saying here, like she's at the end of something of a journey of the Wands, something that has had fire and passion within her, that has risen and that's moving forward, that she's almost there. She's almost there for there to be a Tower moment. And it's almost like this warning in the sign of like, a Tower may have to happen for this journey to be fully complete. And it's okay, right? But so there's moments of towers, meaning something has to crumble so something can rise again, right? So there's like a death and rebirth and choice points when it comes to the Tower. So she, even though she's almost at the end of a certain journey here and she's moving forward, and there's going to be something that's going to release and be completely done with. And that actually, I'm hearing intuitively that that's the decision that may just help her finish over the line into the final 10 of Wands to keep moving forward. But there might be a little bit of a struggle and things coming in that might feel a little more challenging in the second week. Even for the divine masculine, I feel like the second week of Gemini season for both of them, a little bit more bumpy, a little bit more work. But I also hear realizations, big realizations that will be coming in the second week of Gemini season. We go to the third week and the divine masculine gets the Chariot. So once again, he has a theme. As soon as I laid this down last night when I was doing this reading, I was like, I could see the theme coming in very strongly for the divine masculine this month. And that is, there is a desire moving forward, taking action, beginning. I mean, all three of these cards already are about that, the movement, the choice, the action. So that third week, he's coming in with this Chariot, and you need to have that balance, the harmony, but there's movement and direction and focus and choice. And he's getting the King of Swords. So another thing that I see here is the divine masculine definitely got a lot of swords cards already coming up this month for him. And the swords of the mind, the air, the communication, what's going on. But in the King of Swords here, it's the last card of the sword suit. And it's like mastery of mind, of communication, of how you're receiving communication, how you're giving communication, how it's filtering within your systems. There's a mastery you've gotten to the king of it. And there's all these winged ones that are here supporting, which is all representing spirit and communication. But this being in that lower side, this cautionary of this particular spread I'm doing, is the message here is watching that your ego don't take place, or that you get too sharp a tongue in your communication, making sure you stay in the balance and the mastery of what a King of Swords actually represents. And then going in with our divine feminine, she has Temperance as her high card, as her blessing, and the Five of Swords. Five of Swords can be totally a very challenging card, depending on how you want to look at the fives and them in themselves. But let's start with our positive. It's the Temperance. It's almost at the end of the journey of the Fool that takes the journey in the tarot. And there's a lot of blessings that are coming in with the Temperance. It's bringing in like we say the elixir of light to support the journey. I shouldn't say it's coming to the end. We're about the midpoint of this journey. Let me get that clear. We're at about the midpoint of the Fool's journey with the Temperance. My brain wanted to go to to the star there for a moment. But there's this lovely bounce. It's the bounce of water and earth when we think of the classic tarot of it. And it's like this yin, this yang movement. So there's something coming in that is starting to click and make sense for the divine feminine in the third week. She is seeing what her medicine is. There's something that's starting to like come together as a blessing and support and aha kind of movement for her to move forward. But when we have this, the lower note here, the warning kind of messenger on this side with the Five of Swords, she may be tripping herself up. She's got to accept and have faith and claim this for herself. And also that there's fives mean change, a choice, a direction. They would seek freedom. There can be a conflict, and the conflict can be within just yourself itself, and especially swords within your mind. So she has a cautionary, like watching that conflict, making a choice. And I think whatever comes in for her during the third week is going to give her the option that she needs to have a change. She needs to leap and step forward to something. And she may have to remember her strength at the beginning of this season so she can do that. And then our final week of Gemini season, the masculine gets the Tower. So, the feminine got the Tower over here. So he's gone on this journey, like he's been running, going forward, but then he gets the Tower because there's something has to end. There's something has to be rebirth for him too. And what the other side here is this Ace of Cups, the fullness, but it also Ace of Wands or Eight of Wands wants to slide in there when I pulled the cards out. So secondary, Eight of Wands, fire, passion, movement, action. There's still so much movement for him. And there's something that's coming from movement with the start of another beginning. And a beginning that's going to be more heart-centered for him than so much energy, masculine, feminine mind, where he has come through for the month. So there's a shifting of a gear. I think whatever journey the divine masculine is going through in this Gemini season is action, movement, and conquering some of the mind, of his thoughts and how he's relating and communicating. And I really feel like he's going to have a really successful month, to the point that he's going to be turning the page into something more aligned into his heart space with still a lot of movement, a lot of action. And this could also be looking at that he's ready for love, but will he choose it? He's ready to walk into a new season the next month with more of an open heart, and hopefully one that he's learned from his journey before that is clean and clear in mind and connected with his heart too, and the emotions that go with the Ace of Cups. The divine feminine, she gets the Four of Swords. So there's a rest, a stop for her right at the end of Gemini season, but she needs apparently a rest in order for the Chariot is what she leaves with. So we got Chariot on both sides. So there is this bounce, this reflection. I always feel like those fours are like that foundation, the new rituals, a new structure. What do you want? And also it's a portal. I see the fours, I think like portal energy, you're stepping into something new. But she needs a pause, almost like get herself centered and everything before there's this movement and action. And now with this in the lower cautionary extra little note message on this side, right, of the reading, with it being the Chariot, there's just this message I hear about make sure you do this before you go rushing ahead with action and movement forward with a choice and decision into the next. Because you need to have that balance, right? Forward, clean, clear, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of it when you're wanting to be successful in a movement of forward action in your life. So she will need a little rest and just like, what does she really want? How is this all feeling? A reflection of this past whole journey of the month for her. And we want to be remembered that the overall theme here is that there's going to be transformation. There is this asking to slow down and hold a space, a sacred space, and hold it from your own wisdom. And then we have like taken that time to assess any situations. I feel like she's assessing here in order to move forward And if that doesn't happen, this chariot might not run as smoothly for her. And we don't want to forget this little message that came in the back here with the first card was that forgive card for her, or sorry, for both of them, for overall for the message. So I thought this was a beautiful reading for the Gemini season. Like I said, this goes from May 20th to the 21st of June, when then we switch into Cancer season, and also summer solstice, which is appropriate as we move the wheel of the year from being now in soon at the end of this season, we'll be in that summer season, right? And that's a portal in itself. So both divine masculine and feminine feel like they are getting ready for that. During this Gemini season, we'll be clear of Mercury retrograde. Will go direct. Mercury will go direct on June 3rd. So the communication of things by the time they finish Gemini season, especially for the masculine, things will be more clean and clear as they are both moving forward. And we'll be out of the complete eclipse season that we've just had. So then there's going to be a transformation happening there for everybody. And the second week here, I just want to add some other stuff here. That second week, we start that second week, and it was a little bit more of a bumpier, right? Week, I said, we start that week on the 30th, and that's also where we're having our new moon. And it's also where we're closing out that eclipse season that we just had. And there's also this energy of whatever's transpired over the last 6 weeks, coming into this eclipse season. There's going to be kind of like, like something's going to start to understand and make sense, which we see the energy kind of sorting itself out through that week. And then we get going again. So just keeping that in mind as we all move forward. Thank you for being here on this call. I encourage you on this video. I encourage you that if you love doing tarot and oracle cards, you like just taking time to connect with spirit and source. And that's why I teach this. I teach a lot of different things that give tools to help people understand themselves more and how they're reading, how they're intuition, how they're in soul language is what I call it, how their soul language, how they're connecting through to something more bigger and divine for themselves. And tarot cards, oracle cards, they are here. I mean, they're beautiful. There's so much wisdom in the tarot itself. And there's so much beauty in the people that, from the people that create these decks. So we're inviting that into our own life, but we're also just recognizing these are a tool, a pathway, right, to divine, to our divine, our higher self, to communicate, to do a reading for ourselves or for others, whatever that may feel like and look like for you. So I'm going to leave us with a couple just final message, which I didn't pull last night, but I'm just looking around what cards I have here because I have tons. I'm just going to leave a card here. I'm going to pull one for each divine, masculine, and feminine. And I'm going to use the Spirit of the Animals Oracle deck. And it's a beautiful deck, but it's quite big for my hands. So shuffling always takes a little bit more. So calling in some extras, just a little guidance and support and message for the divine masculine for this entire Gemini season. And we get pronghorn action. I hope I said that, pronghorn action. And it says, now is the time to act, which we see that with the divine masculine. It says, opportunities are here. Move forward with confidence. Your talents will always help and you land on the pentacle. Your quick wit and keen senses will lead you to success. I'm going to read that again because I fumbled that a little bit. It says, definitely energy action. It says, now is the time to act. Opportunities are here. Move forward with confidence. Your talents will always help you land on the pentacle. Your quick wit and keen senses will lead you to success. So there's a trusting and support that's coming in here for the entire month for the divine masculine. Remember, you can take that as within yourself, that action-oriented choice inside of yourself energetically. And we're looking for a card here for the month or the Gemini season for divine feminine. She gets Tiger, and it says fire. It says, I choose to be unstoppable. My passion is my power. I am bold. I am brave. Mighty forces come to my aid. So there's great support for the divine feminine over this Gemini season. It's having that trust and faith in yourself and knowing that there is support and guidance for you if and when you need it, but that you have it within yourself. You just can remember it and bring it forth. So that's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So thanks again for tuning in. I hope you guys have a beautiful Gemini season. I will be doing my reading for June very soon. You'll see that. And you can follow along with the energetics for that reading, along with I bring in some of the numerology and the astrology that comes in for that month too. So until then, guys, have a beautiful week.